Hello, and welcome to Easter Egg Hunting, a show that dissects your favorite video games looking for hidden secrets and Easter eggs. We're going to try our hardest to show you all and any Easter eggs we can find in any game, and we'll even be throwing in some trivia as well. This time we'll be continuing from part 1. We just started finding secrets in A Link to the Past, so let's get back on track at Kakariko Village. If the player goes north of Kakariko Village, they'll see 2 lumberjacks. The Japanese word for lumberjack is kikori, and the name of the childlike race in Ocarina of Time is kokiri, which is an anagram of kikori. Considering the name and that the lumberjacks wear similar green outfits, this may be where the idea for the kokiri race originated. When the player completes the Eastern Palace, they'll be given the Pegasus boots. The Pegasus boots get their name from Pegasus, a horse of ancient Greek origin. Pegasus is sometimes associated with speed, which would explain why the boots would be named after him. However, there could be more to this connection. Many Renaissance paintings depict Pegasus being tamed or ridden by Perseus. Perseus once acquired a pair of sandals that belonged to the god Hermes, and these sandals allowed whoever wore them to run extremely fast and even fly. Now on the way to Desert Palace. If the player solves the puzzle inside of the swamp ruins, the water will flow again and drain the swamp outside. This will cause a fish to appear, flopping around on the ground. If the player brings the fish to the street merchant in Kakariko Village, he'll give you 21 rupees, 10 arrows, 8 bombs, and a magic jar. Once in the Desert Palace, the player will come across some burrowing insect enemies known as Devilants, or DEBIRANDO in the Japanese game. The Japanese name seems to be a combination of the words Debiru and Hondo, meaning Devil Hand. This dungeon also has the first appearance of the Power Glove in the Zelda series, a reference to Nintendo's NES glove peripheral. Its in-game sprite even resembles its real-life counterpart. A similar glove appeared in Zelda 2, but it was called the Handy Glove in that game. On the way to the Tower of Hera, there's the Waterfall of Wishing and a cave housing a great fairy. Upon entering, the player will be asked to throw an item into the pond. If the player responds to the fairy honestly, she'll upgrade whatever item was thrown into the pond. This is likely a reference to the Aesop fable, The Honest Woodsman. In the story, a man accidentally throws his regular old axe into a lake. He then starts weeping, having lost his only means of livelihood. The god Hermes takes pity on him and goes to retrieve his axe. Hermes comes out from the lake with a golden axe and asks the man if it's his. The man says that it isn't. Hermes then finds a silver axe and then asks again. The man says that isn't his axe either, but because of the man's honesty, Hermes lets the man take all 3 axes. The Tower of Hera may be named after the famous ancient Greek goddess Hera, wife of Zeus. Although Zeus was king of the gods, it's sometimes said that Hera ruled over the home of the gods at Mount Olympus. The Tower of Hera is also at the top of Death Mountain and parallels Hera living atop Mount Olympus. The bars of fire inside the tower, named GURUGURU bars, seem to be a nod to the Super Mario Bros. Franchise. They were actually intended to appear in the original The Legend of Zelda, but were moved to Super Mario Bros. Instead. In Hyrule Castle Tower, the player will face off against Aghanim, and they can actually deflect and reflect Aghanim's magic using the bug-catching net instead of the sword. One of the first enemies the player sees after entering the Dark World is the Hinox. Hinox are based on Cyclops, but they also share some characteristics with Japanese Oni. Their upturned fangs and archaic clothing are similar to traditional illustrations of Oni. Continuing with Link's quest, if the player throws something into the Ring of Stones at the Lake of Ill Omen, a catfish appears and gives them the Quake Medallion. This catfish is based on Namazu from Japanese folklore, a giant catfish that causes earthquakes. Now we've reached the Palace of Darkness, where Link can acquire the Magic Hammer. In the Japanese release, the Magic Hammer is called the MC Hammer, referencing the famous rapper of the same name. Now that the player has the hammer, they can find another small secret back in the Light World. The player can now get past a pole that was blocking them outside Kakariko and fall into a hole. Throwing magic powder on the altar will summon the Mad Batter. This character appears in both A Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, and their name is likely a reference to the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. The name of the Swamp Palace boss Argus may be a reference to Argus Panoptes. Panoptes was an all-seeing giant from Greek mythology and was often described as having 100 eyes. However, this reference is only for the Western version of the game, as the boss's Japanese name is Wart. It's possible that the Skullwoods dungeon boss Mothula is based on the kaiju Mothra. Mothula is also the only boss that can be hurt by the game's catchable bees. In the Ice Palace, the player can come across Pentagores. Pentagores may be based on the mythical Kappa of Japanese folklore, as they have some key similarities. They have bald heads surrounded by tufts of hair, beaks lined with teeth, and an amphibious nature. The name of the Misery Mire boss, Vitreous, likely comes from vitreous humor. Vitreous humor is a clear gel found inside the eyeballs of vertebrates. Inside Turtle Rock, the player can obtain the Mirror Shield. The Mirror Shield may be a reference to the Kid Icarus series, where Pit uses a mirror shield to defend against Medusa's eye beams. The Mirror Shield in both games is likely a reference to Greek mythology. The hero Perseus used a polished shield to reflect the image of Medusa, so he could avoid looking at her and turning to stone. Chain Chomps also appear as an enemy in Turtle Rock. Chain Chomps are known as Mario enemies, but like the fire bars, they were originally planned to appear in the original The Legend of Zelda. Takashi Tezuka, who has worked on both Zelda and Mario, decided to put it in A Link to the Past as a joke. Also in A Link to the Past, there is a secret room that is inaccessible via normal means. However, it can be accessed without the aid of a cheat device. This room is known as the Top Secret Room, or the Chris Houlihan Room. It serves as an error handler, or failsafe if the player drops into a hole and the game doesn't have a valid destination for them. Inside, there are 45 blue rupees and a telepathy tile which states, "My name is Chris Houlihan. This is my top secret room. Keep it between us, okay?" This room was created as the prize for a Nintendo Power contest where a randomly selected entrant would receive a cameo in a Zelda game. To enter, readers had to submit a picture of the elusive War Mech boss from Final Fantasy. While the room still exists in the Game Boy Advance port, the glitches used to access it were removed. Cheating yourself into the room will also reveal that the telepathy tile has been removed from the wall. In the Game Boy Advance version of the game, there's an exclusive dungeon called the Palace of the Four Sword. Almost every Octo Balloon in A Link to the Past is red. The only exception to this is a single orange Octo Balloon within the Palace of the Four Sword. Also exclusive to the Game Boy Advance version is the Riddle Quest. The player can obtain 3 statues from the Riddle Quest: a Cucco, Link, and Princess Zelda. If the player sprinkles magic powder on the statues, they will change in different ways. At first, they will all sparkle. If the player sprinkles some more on the Cucco statue, it will change color and either appear to be an ordinary Cucco or resemble the Dark World Cucco. If the player does the same to Link's statue, it will change to the same colors as Link or into a bunny Link. And if the same is done to the Zelda statue, it'll either get the real Zelda colors or turn into an older version of Zelda. Now we've reached the first portable entry in the Zelda series, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. Much like the original Zelda on NES, the secrets in this game start right on the file select screen. If the player enters their name as Zelda, a salsa remix of the main Zelda theme will play. This song is played in all versions in various ways. In the French version of Link's Awakening DX, this song is played by entering the name Lolo. Entering the name Lolo in the original French and Canadian Game Boy versions plays a completely different song, however. By entering the name MOYSE in the German version of the game, it'll play a techno track. This is a reference to Claude Moyse, who is editor-in-chief of Club Nintendo magazine and part of Nintendo of Europe's localization department. Entering Moyse in the DX version of Link's Awakening will play a remix of Totaka's song. This version of the song can also be heard in the Japanese version of the game by entering the name Totakeke. When Link wakes up, one of the first things the player can do is speak with Tarin. Tarin heavily resembles Mario. Both have similar hair, a large nose, mustache, red shirt, and love mushrooms. Tarin also transforms into a raccoon later in the game. This is a power Mario uses in multiple games. If the player goes outside and explores Mabe Village, one of the characters they can find is Madame Meow Meow. Madame owns a Bow Wow, which is an obvious reference to Mario's Chain Chomp enemies. There's also Grandma Ulrira, who would often say Yahoo in the original game. This was replaced with Hello and Yippee in the 3DS port of Link's Awakening. This was likely done to remove any perceived association with the web portal and search company Yahoo. Funnily enough, Link's Awakening was released in America 5 whole months before Yahoo Inc. was even founded. And lastly for today, a plush toy of Yoshi appears in Mabe Village. The Yoshi doll can be found as a prize in the trendy game shop. Make sure you subscribe to Did You Know Gaming for more facts and trivia, and let us know if we missed any Easter eggs, but keep in mind we've only just started with Link's Awakening and there's plenty more to come. And if you want to watch another video, you can check out mine on Yokai Watch. It's a really weird game. I was not expecting it to be that weird, and yeah, thanks for watching, please subscribe to me, and have a great day. Bye!